Yeah, so let's roll into it, Sam. We have a match this Thursday, CONCACAF Champions Cup Round of 16. We're playing Tigres at 8 p.m. at TQL. Prior to this, obviously we see Alvas and Obi kill it in the first round. They were named to the round 1 best 11. Obi leads the tournament with 5 assists. Can he find the record, Sam? Can he get up to, I think it was 12 that I put out before? Maybe we'll see that. But this one will be very telling about how this team responds, after this match on Sunday. Luckily, we're staying at home for this one. Maybe that helps us in the sense also that Tigres is coming from a nice climate, and it's going to be pretty cold that night too.
Yeah, so to look at kind of last year versus Tigres, we played them in the Champions Cup. And so first match was at TQL like last year. It was 1-1 draw, and then the second was in Monterrey, 3-1 loss there. And we kind of just
them at home though. It was 1-1. We should have beaten them, is what I said.
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. I was like, I didn't hear the first one.
We had way more chances.
Yes,
we should have put that one away.
And we actually scored first, and then they scored because they scored on that on the post, right? And it was like a tough header. But yeah, so right now Tigres is sitting 6th in Liga MX right now. They've actually, I don't want to, but they've lost 3 out of their last 5, right? So it's somewhat promising. However, they're coming off a pretty big win against Monterrey. So we'll see what their roster kind of looks like coming up against FC Cincinnati. But once again, probably FS2, Apple TV, if you want to tune in for that, like Ryan said, 8 p.m. But Ryan, what do you think FCC lineup-wise?
Strong. Players are going to get up for this. They understand that this is an important competition. Not that MLS isn't. I mean, we have 34 matches, but like, this is the closest thing that you're going to get to like the end of the season with the cup in terms of importance. League's Cup, in my mind, just not as important, but this is, throughout the region, and to kind of have pride and to say where we stand, against these teams. We've seen us at home be pretty darn good, I would say. Honestly, we should have done better against Monterrey before last year. Again, kind of left thinking like we honestly dictated a lot of the play. I think honestly, again, it comes down to the fact that we're playing them early in the season and in a climate where like we're used to this, I guess, if you want to call it used to this. By now we've played in a few matches in this kind of environment. So that should help us on paper, but the guys got to go out and do it. So to your question about lineup, a strong one. I think you see a lot of maybe what we saw against, I'm going back, probably Atlanta is what I'm going to say. I think Evander probably is going to get the start for this one. And I think you run it back maybe with Jabari just being a little bit more physical. Barlow, starting the last match, and they'll kind of flip-flop. Do you think they roll with Giddy or Obi, Sam, in the midfield?
I'd go Obi's got 5 assists, right? He's Mr. Champions Cup right now. You got to start Obi. I'm more – what's the back line look like? Because obviously you'll probably have Ramirez out wide with Ender. In the middle, do you go 3 options? You got Hadebe, Flores, or do you go with another, Champions Cup best 11? You go with Alvas Powell, maybe as center back.
Hadebe didn't look like he had a knock or anything. I think, honestly, they're trying to save some minutes for the back line so they're not getting, too banged up. So I think Hadebe comes in just with his experience. Not that I feel great about that. Miles, obviously, there. And then I would love to have Matt back. He's just not ready. So it's probably Hagelin again. But the message has got to be stronger of like, I said this early on in the show, if you guys were listening, but you got to get up for this one. You got to understand the moment. And I think a lot of the players really will. I think Evander especially, he kind of rises to the occasion when we play bigger teams. You saw it last year against Miami. You saw it against Monterrey. I really feel like he's going to maybe come out a little bit more hungry in this one too. And how does that kind of echo around the team? Hopefully there's a very stern message after yesterday's match, and that leads to a better result on Thursday.
I think this also has the potential to be a Brian Ramirez match.
Okay.
Either him or Ender could get, a goal contribution to some extent. I could see.
Let's talk about the scenarios of what this looks like. So obviously we have home and away. And if we can get a lead, how valuable is that in the way that we can play down in Tigres, Sam? We saw it last season where we kind of had to force the issue. We get the early goal, in the away leg, but then their depth is a problem. So if you can dominate at home and somehow come out with a result, I'm saying somehow just based on what I saw, just 24 hours ago. But yeah, I really feel like that could be a big decider in us moving forward. We've never passed the round of 16. So something's got to click. Something's got to really set us apart, because depth wise, again, options that Tigre have off the bench versus what we have off the bench right now, like, we're very much apart. But anything can happen in this game.
Yeah. So prediction wise,
we hyped this one up and said anything is possible.
Yeah. All that said, we do have, both of us have a 0-2 prediction in favor of Tigres. I believe we're on the same mindset of thinking that this offense just is not going to be able to produce against Tigres, and if they do, it's by a miracle.
But like at the same setting, like I could just see us somehow, some way just coming out, and if we could find an early goal, like that could change things. I'm not happy about putting that down, but this is what we've seen over the past 2 matches. We've gone 180 minutes without a goal in MLS play. We had 9 goals in the first CONCACAF. That's
used them all up.
Different.
Yeah.
The casual fan, if you're wondering, again, like different levels to this, completely different environment here.